I was born in Siberia, and I started painting when I was a little girl, at the age of 4. And my father is an artist, he's a painter, and my mom is an art historian. When I was a little girl, I went to see my dad, how he paints, and he had a huge influence on me in terms of perception of the world. The Russian approach is very classical. Then when I moved to New York, I was inspired by New York, the scale of New York, the creativity, because I met many interesting people, and the other artists, they also were very supportive and encouraging. I always was mesmerized by European culture, and my family lives in Spain, so they moved to Spain in the year 2000, and I started to fly to London very often. Most of the significant art events, they're in London, and my favorite artists, most of them having exhibitions here and living here. I believe that London and New York are cities of great energy. So we have everything happening at once, you know, business, arts, culture. I'm very fortunate to live in London because we can find here everything we want. Exhibitions, art shows. Meeting people is also very inspirational. Different people, it doesn't matter, it doesn't necessarily to be from the arts. Everything is blending as fashion, music, arts, architecture, buildings, garden even, you know. If you look at the British Garden, some of my paintings were inspired by the British Garden because they have the whole structure. I can find my inspiration everywhere. I can talk to someone and I see that someone is inspired by my work. That's coming back to me and makes me inspired and makes me to enjoy my creative process. It's like a spiral. I start from the idea. For example, recently I was thinking about violence. If you look at the old masters, we can see a lot of violence. So I started thinking, what color is this emotion? How I can express? And I start to draw. So you explore the color, you explore the idea, you explore the emotion. What is it movement? Movement of what? Of energy, of a human body, of a soul. And draw. Just draw. Maybe a dancing lady, a dancing girl, or a dancer, a belly dancer. And then just this idea becomes alive and develops, and then from drawing I go on a large canvas scale. So I always start with a drawing. I love to draw with a charcoal because I think that the charcoal gives a very incredible depth to the drawing. I love to explore tonality and difference in tone and depth and texture. I always had an abstract style. And I love color. I love to work with color. Because of my love to the scale, to color, I started experimenting with abstract. The art that I do is kind of a mixture between figurative and abstract, because it's always good to put figure as a sign of our presence in nature. The name is fire and water. Both of the powers can be destroying or helping us to feel ourselves alive. This work, the second part of the diptych is water, which symbolizes stillness, meditation. So it's about duality. Is it a conflict or is it a balance? I used brush marks and I used palette knife as well because it's a more different textures, I think, more quiet. You can think, you can be quiet, experiencing meditation and observing yourself, being in nature. Also, you can see something like stars or reflection of something, or may see, or you may suggest that it is just that it is something, but it is just a reflection. It's kind of a visual perception of what you see. Is it really the truth? My art is all about movement, so it has lots of movement, lots of energy, and I think dancing is movement, and it's beautiful when these incredibly talented belly dancers, where I'm taking my inspiration from opera, ballet. So I did a series of drawings that's about energy, passion, love, and people. It's not about only the methods or materials that you use. It's also something beyond the canvas. Actually, what you wanted to say and why. Which response you want to receive from your viewer. The most inspirational places for me are Greek cities and Roman. I love ancient Greek history. Very often I come back to the British Museum and I read a lot. I think that Greek heroes were great. Nature, being with nature, going to mountains. I was raised in Siberia, and we have beautiful mountains, lakes there. It's very inspirational. On the other hand, I lived in large cities in New York and London, and I found them very inspirational as well. Because I left Russia like a long time ago, and I never go back because my family lives in Spain. One of my works that I did recently was inspired by landscape, a physical place that exists in London. So I did lots of drawings and photos, and then I went back home, I look at my drawings, and I start thinking about myself, what are my feelings related to this painting? What speaks to me in these drawings? So I made a decision in the color, what I want to see in a painting. And then I went to a scale, and it was kind of a mixture, material landscape, but also it's my emotional landscape or my self-portrait. And I believe that all my art is my self-portraits. It's a kind of journey within. On the other hand, I want them to feel their own emotions. That's important for me.